Hello, I am Cassie Verano, tonight's host of Cassie After Dark, my new podcast that is coming soon. I am going to be reading an excerpt to you tonight from Disclosure, the first book in my Insatiable Temptation series. Insatiable Temptations is a series about a band of four brothers who are brothers by choice and not by birth. They all met in a military academy when they were preteens, and they have built an inseparable bond since then that has allowed them to accomplish some of their wildest dreams, build business empires, and just pretty much become the ruler of their worlds. It is the story, it's a series about Epic, who is in the first book, Disclosure. There is Bolt, who is in the second book, Reckless. There is Cash, who is in the third book, Relinquish, which will be coming at the end of September. And then there is Brick, who is in the book Tarnish, the final book of the series. And this series, you'll get to see their business adventures, their nightclub, Velvet Vibe, Silk Seduction, their strip club, Elite Petals, their escort business, the Promenade, which happens to be an adults only hotel, and their flagship business, Elite Solutions, which is an elite security service for the wealthy. So just come on in, join the ride, check me out, and listen to this little excerpt tonight. Getting out of bed, I pull on a t-shirt along with my boxer briefs before I head down the hallway. Inputting the combination of the keypad beside her door, I push it open to see she's still in the throes of a nightmare. Flicking on the lights, I call out to her softly, Elena's. I repeat it 2 times, and when she doesn't respond, I walk over to the bed. I know from experience that you're not supposed to wake someone up from a nightmare, but I'm struggling with not waking her. Elena's looks so helpless, and as much as I want to be angry with her right now, my heart goes out to her. Arden, she cries. Arden! Next she cries out, no! Before I rub her shoulder gently and say, Elena's. She doesn't wake up, and I shake her again. She still doesn't wake up. I reach for the covers to pull up her over her body because, like me, she apparently sleeps in the nude. Elena's eyes fly open as she looks around and then sits up. She stares at me in confusion as tears roll down her face. Are you okay? Arden looks around again before she reaches down to grab the sheet from my hand and covers her nude body. I made a mental note to get some clothes for her if I'm keeping her here much longer. She's wearing the same nightshirt and night shorts that she was wearing the night that I took her from her grandmother's house. Why are you in here? She asked softly without an iota of the aggression that has peppered her speech since she's been here. You were having a nightmare. She pulls her knees to her chest and bows her head, resting it on her knees with her face turned away from me. The only indication that I get that she's still crying is the way her shoulders shake. I rub gentle circles on her back and rub her hair with my hand. Hey, whatever you dreamt about is over now, okay? She doesn't say anything, and I continue comforting her before I find myself swinging my legs up onto the bed and pulling her into my arms. I have no idea what her life's been like since she's been away from me, but she's broken. I've never seen Elena's broken before. Conflicted, agitated, but never broken. She leans into my hug, allowing me to comfort her as she continues sniffling. Want to talk about it? She shakes her head and I say, that's fine. When she turns her head my way, she stares at me with red-rimmed eyes. Why are you like this, Epic? What? Comforting me? Caring about me when everyone else would have put a bullet in my head already? I inhale deeply and my jaw clenches with the reminder of how I'm supposed to feel about her. She continues staring into my eyes. I have no idea what she's searching for, but a fresh round of tears fall from her eyes. Shaking her head, she leans in and cups my face, pressing her lips to mine. Before I can pull back or recover from what's happening, I'm reminded of how soft and sweet she was the last time and how, despite what she'd done throughout the years, I've often wanted to taste her again. I open my mouth, pressing my lips against hers hard, and she willingly opens to me. Licking around her mouth, I suck at her tongue, loving how sweet she tastes even in the middle of the night. Pressing her back against the bed, she unfolds her legs, and I position myself over her. Elena's legs open as I find myself between her thighs with my arousal pressing against her heat. She gasps, and I drag my lips away from her mouth to her neck. She arches under me, spreading her legs wider, allowing me to nestle in the warm security of her thighs. I capture her lips once more as she purrs under me, and memories of how sweetly she used to respond to me begin to invade my mind and take me back to happier times. My hands tangle in her long, thick hair, and my fingers stroke her scalp. And just like before, Elena's purrs so sweetly for me before she moans in my mouth. My erection grows harder, demanding to be satisfied. She must feel me because Elena's reaches between us and cups my dick, stroking it through my boxer briefs before she feels around and pulls him free. She strokes my length, causing my arousal to grow harder and longer. Fuck, I groan against her mouth. And when Elena spreads her legs for me and wraps them around my back, I know that I'm lost. I sink into her heat as she closes around me, welcoming me into her velvet cocoon. I surrender to the pleasure that she offers, loving how slick, wet, and smooth she feels wrapped around me. Slowly, I shift deeper as she hiccups a cry. Her hands drag down my back, nails scraping across my skin. Releasing a breathless cry, Elena arches her back from the bed and thrusts her hips in the air to greet me. I rock forward, propelling us both to another level of pleasure. Elena's is soft and warm, and I can't seem to consume her fast enough. Dragging my lips down her neck, I work my way to her breast. I take one tender, budded nipple in between my teeth and tug at the piercing that wasn't there almost 3 years ago. She cries out her pleasure. Epic, she screams, satisfying my inner beast. I pull her with me as we roll onto our sides, and we rock back and forth, repeatedly giving and taking until our pleasure is satisfied. This is what I dreamt of night after night when she first betrayed me. The reminder of her betrayal floods me like a rush, filling me with anger as it battles the pleasure that I seek, the desire that I'm trying to satiate. Pulling out of her, I flip her over onto her back. Gripping her hair, I shove her face into the pillow, grab her hips with my other hand, and lift her. I sink into her heat and begin to punish her for her betrayal with hard, deep thrusts. I take no mercy on her as she screams into the pillow. Elena balls her fist and beats it against the mattress as I take her repeatedly and harshly. My thrusts are fast and furious as she cries out, and I rock into her repeatedly from behind. When she tries to collapse, I grab her hips and lift her again, holding her against me and punishing her for her betrayal. Wrapping my fingers in her hair, I pull her head up and bring her closer to me, her back against my chest. I sink my teeth into her shoulder, biting and licking and repeating the action until she's squirming and moaning. Elena reaches her hand behind her, and slipping it between our combined flesh, she grabs my cock and slides her hand slowly up and down my length, forcing me to slow my pace. Gratification rips through me at the power and passion I feel, wielding control over her, pleasure and pain as ardent screams fill the air when I tug her nipple, piercing hard enough to make her scream. Massaging her breasts with one hand, I grab her chin with the other and jerk her head backward. I lick at the soft flesh on her neck and then bite her, watching her drown in ecstasy as her eyes drift closed. Why'd you betray me? I ask in a deep guttural groan. I didn't want to, she whimpers breathlessly. My hand drifts from her chin down her midsection until it rests on her pussy. I spank it lightly. My hits grow harder with each tap. Elena jerks her hips forward, craving the stinging feeling that I know my fingers are leaving. With each smack of my hand, she propels her hips forward, crying out when my fingers hit her labia at the tips of my fingers, and the tips of my fingers hit her clit. You fuck me over, Elena, I growl in her ear, still spanking her pussy. I didn't mean to, she hiccups on a cry. I ease a finger inside of her, allowing it to move at the same pace as my dick. Elena brings her hand down to grip my wrist, keeping my hand in place. Oh, God, yes. Epic. You feel so good, she cries out. I don't want her to feel good. I want and need her to feel my wrath. Snatching my hand away, I push her face down into the bed again and spank her ass as hard as I can. Using my knees, I spread her legs wide, causing her ass to hitch into the air high enough for me to see her pearl. I spank her harder until she's crying and apologizing repeatedly for what she'd done. It's not enough to quell my anger. Spreading her ass wider, I pump viciously inside of her before reaching up and wrapping my hand around the back of her neck and squeezing lightly. I fuck her so hard that her tears drench the pillow and she's moaning and sniffling. With every couple of passes, I spank her ass so hard that I know there will be whelps there later. Despite how brutal I've treated her, she's enjoying it. Her body is trembling and she's crying out and begging for more. Please, Epic, harder. Don't stop. I shouldn't be fucking you. I should be killing you, I growl. It feels so damn good, though. I deserve this. Fuck me hard. Fuck me so hard that I lose the feeling in my legs, she pleads. And I do. I feel the moment that she climaxes, her wet folds suctioning me in further and convulsing around me. Oh, Epic, fuck yes, she screams, and I'm falling hard and fast behind her, angry with myself for what I've done. But my body is satiated all the same. When I finally pull out of her, she sinks into the bed, with her face still buried in the pillow. Are you okay? She nods, swiping at the tears on her face. The look of pleasure is replaced with a frown. I'm fine, thank you. I head to the door, not wanting to discuss what we've done, but I stop before I leave the room. I'll get you some fresh clothes. You know there are towels and washcloths in your bathroom. She nods. I know. Thanks. I pull the door closed and then open it again. Who's Arden? Elena's eyes fly open, and she stares at me in horror. What? Arden. You said Arden while you were in the nightmare. No one. Are you sure? I heard you say the name twice before you screamed no. I said no one, she hisses. Whoever Arden is must be either close to her heart or has created a bad experience for her based on her response. Jealousy and frustration consume me. I close the door, shaking my head and determined to find out who the fuck Arden is. And that is the first book in the Insatiable Temptation series, available on Patreon. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back for more. Have a great night.